Next comp, we'll click on number 12, and that will open up our Why We Work Again comp. And in this composition, we're going to learn how to do adjustment layers. So we're going to go Layer, New, Adjustment Layer. That's going to put that on top, and I'm going to make this a different color so that we can tell that this is an adjustment layer. And we're going to go to Blur. We're going to take Gaussian Blur and we're going to drop it on there. And let's dial up the blur. And basically what happens is that everything below that adjustment layer is affected. So as opposed to just dropping a filter on an individual layer, this is a way to make it affect a whole bunch that are below it. So we'll pop this back on again. Now we don't want that to affect the text, so I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to name this blur so we know what it is, and then I'm going to drag it below our text. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit scale, and we're going to kind of shrink this down a little bit so we kind of get a border. And then I'm going to set it on overlay so we get an interesting color going. Next thing we're going to do is go right about second 5, and we're going to animate the entrance of our text. So we'll keyframe our final position, go to the beginning of the comp, and then just drag it out of the way. Take a look at it. I want to ease this, so I'm going to right click it. We'll ease that. And I don't want to render this whole composition because there's all this bonus stuff. So basically I want to only render 7 seconds. So I'm going to pull this render bar back to roughly 7 seconds, and then that's all that's going to render when we get there. Now I like this motion of the text, but I want it to go behind something blurry before it gets to its position. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our blur layer. I'm going to hit Command D to duplicate it, and I'm going to put it on the very top. And with that layer selected, I'm going to come up here to the mask tool and I'm going to click on it. And if you click and hold, you can pick a bunch of different shapes, but I want the square shape, the rectangle, and I am going to just create a mask. Right here, I'm just clicking, holding, and dragging. And so now this layer is just inside this mask. And we can look at the mask on and off by pressing this button. And I want to increase the blur of this mask, and actually I want to make it normal. Alright, so we've got too much blur now. Let's go back to like 6. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, so I'm happy with that, so we'll just pre-render your name, tell it where you want it to go, make it Apple ProRes Lite, and render it.